Well, hello, everybody. My name is Nicole Curtis. I'm part of the She Rises Studios publishing team community, and I am here with these fabulous women because the exciting news today is the She Grows Stronger book. Excuse me. I've been doing so many of these today. The She Grows Stronger book paperback is released today on Amazon, so you can go ahead today and get your copy. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi, good. Doing well.
I'm so glad that you're here. And I just want to take the next 15, 20 minutes and just really ask some questions for you ladies to answer, because I really like to have our audience, one, get to know you a little bit, but also, what is this book about? Why did you join the book? What is your kind of your chapter a little bit about, and all that kind of stuff. And so with the first question that I want to ask is, and anyone can jump in, like I said. So what inspired you to share your story in the She Grows Stronger book?
I can answer that.
Sweet.
I am Maureen Byers, and I have been in the real estate industry as a broker, entrepreneur, and investor for 50 years. So now you guys know how old I am. Okay. So what inspired me is I grew up with four brothers. I had two parents, and I thought I was a boy. I thought I was a tomboy, and I didn't realize we were different because I'm very competitive, and we did sports and we played and we did everything together. So when I got older, I decided to go into either real estate or gemology, because it's my brother just said, listen, you have to choose what you're going to do. And I was in college, and I was married, and I was a teenage virgin child bride. And I'm the girl that didn't finish high school with straight A's, that had sex for the first time, got pregnant, got married, and got a GED. I'm that girl that went back to college, that started a business, that became a broker, the youngest male-female broker in the state of Colorado at 25 years old, and started a business without any money, fell on my face, and then kept trying, bought my first investment, made my brother my partner, and I just kept going. So for me, the inspiration has always been to use myself as an example to show women that regardless of what happens to us or for us, or how we were brought up, or what we believed, or what we had been through, which is usually a lot, that we can do what we want if it's in our heart and we have a passion for it, and we have support and people around us that believe in us. And for me, that was my older brother. So I feel like I've empowered women all of my life, and I became a private financier. I would finance them if they didn't have any credit, or I'd help them with their business, or I'd sponsor their businesses. I've really empowered everybody, male, female, any age group, it doesn't matter, with an emphasis on women, because women need to have the relationships that men have, that I was mentored by. The good old boys club, and the private grill, and the golf course, and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted that camaraderie, and I have that camaraderie with men, with my brothers and business associates. So my why is to leave a legacy of building real estate entrepreneurs ownership when you don't think you can get a loan, or you can't believe that you can, and you think you have to rent, and becoming an investor by using other people's funds, which are other women or men. I allow some of them in my group sometime if they can keep up. But that's my why. And it's business oriented, and it's money, and it's health. And my next chapter are going to follow that. I have a lot of paperwork in the garage, so I have a lot to pull from. And if it didn't exist, I made it up, and I took it to attorneys, and I had the state adopt it. So I want to share my journey with women all over the world to show you, to teach you, to train you, to mentor you that you can do what you want. I don't care who says what, how difficult it is. If you don't have any money, if you're in a wheelchair like I was, it doesn't matter. Okay, what matters is that we communicate and connect and we bond. And I love this platform so much, Nicole, because this gives us the opportunity to do that. And I'm in a lot of other groups, women's real estate investment groups, and they're very competitive and they're not nice, some of them. And women, unfortunately, treat each other like that. But it's not necessarily our fault. Like, I don't play the blame game, but I want to change and have our lives, not just the energy and our looks and, whatever we're supposed to be and why and all of that stuff, but the real guts of making money, being able to go on vacation with nothing in your bag but an empty bag, and leaving for the winter, and taking care of your kids and buying them a house like I did mine, and actually really helping people that we love, that we care about, that we're like, well, there's no way, I doubt you're just real estate trash, as my other brother called me. So I think it's interesting that this format is non-competitive and we have an opportunity together to really make a difference, because believe it or not, a lot of people read. I know a lot of people that read, and I know a lot of people that like audio only. So I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, but that's my why. That's why I wanted to do this.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else want to join in?
Well, I'll join in. My name is Allison Gabaldon, and I wrote the chapter, My God is Stronger. And the reason why I wrote this chapter is because my husband and I went through a hellacious experience, and I didn't realize how much it had personally affected me. And I wanted to write about it because I had people telling me, like, you should write about this because other people might be able to gain inspiration from what you went through and how you overcame this. And so I'm super excited because my husband and I went through a almost 4-year court battle, and yesterday was the official last day. And so I was super excited that we have overcome this. And I'm just really hoping that other people are able to get some inspiration from it and just kind of see like my own journey and what helped me, right? What helped me get through this situation that could have potentially ended my marriage, It could have potentially disrupted my family. And I really had to depend on something bigger than myself. And so I think for the first time in my life, I really had to depend on something bigger than myself, because this situation was so much bigger than me or anything that I had ever experienced. And so I just hope it's inspirational, and I hope people are able to gain some, just some insight and some positivity from it as well. And while I went through this situation, I continued to climb the career ladder. Even though I was going through this situation, I was able to continue to be a positive leader. And so I hope that also is reflected in the chapter.
Love that. Thank you. Anybody else want to share what inspired you to share your story in the She Grows Stronger book, or write your chapter?
I can go next.
I'm Adrienne Gentlecore here in Salt Lake, and I started out in one direction, and then I went in a completely different direction. Something really kind of caught my eye and flipped my attention, and mine is the leadoff chapter, and I'm talking about women's empowerment and how difficult women have it, and how we're being discriminated against, maybe not intentionally, maybe in some cases intentionally, but we're just getting such a bad deal. And I just really felt that to my heart, and felt like I wanted to offer, some inspiration to help women support each other. I like what Maureen was saying, in that some women's environments can be very competitive and very, snarky. And it's very nice that we've got this community where everyone is kind and supportive and helpful to each other, because I think that's what we need to do. The patriarchy is not going to rescue us. We need to, forge our own path. And, I've been an online entrepreneur for many, many years. I run several different businesses, and I feel like that's kind of the direction that women need to go to if they're not finding the right answers in corporate America. So that's, kind of what I was talking about. And hopefully it'll, trigger some thoughts with people and inspire them. But I think it's a great book. I've read all the different stories, and I think each one is so unique and so different that I think it's going to be a really neat resource for people to enjoy.
That's what I love so much about anthology books, where it's just not one perspective. It's a multitude of perspectives from all you ladies that have come in, right? You wrote a chapter, but all of you have so many different stories and different experiences, and you've overcome so many different things that even though potentially if someone writes about the same thing, it's coming from a different viewpoint or a different perspective. And it's so beautiful. I absolutely it's one of the major things of why I love anthology books, because it offers that availability to the reader, to be able to, not just to be inspired and empowered, but to be educated and to, help them move forward in wherever avenue they are in their life or in their journey, to move forward. So, Sonia, why don't you go ahead, hon?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Sonia Rodriguez. I'm a psychotherapist and life transition coach. And I work with a lot of women around navigating difficult life challenges, traumas, massive changes such as divorce or recovery from a loss. And so I really focused my chapter on resilience and building resilience after adversity. And so that was really important to me based on my own experiences as well as in my work with women. And just one of the things that I really learned, and it's hard to see when you're in it, but recognizing that when things go wrong and terrible things happen, it usually encourages you to shift into a different direction. And so that there's this purpose for it, and it usually sends you on a path that you're supposed to be on. And so I really talked about turning setbacks into stepping stones, and how do we reflect on the negative things that happen to us, and how do we make sense of it, and then how do we grow from it. And so I really loved this book and loved being a part of it with all of these wonderful women.
I love that. Thanks for sharing. Hi, Beck. How are you? Congratulations.
Heck yeah. Thank you all, friends.
Paperback being released today. So the question I asked is, what inspired you to share your story in the She Grows Stronger book, in this book?
As someone who's just been through a laundry list of trauma and resilience and bouncing back, and I've said before is like, I feel like I've walked, unfortunately, through the gates of hell and back, and now I'm here at the gates with water in hand and a open hand ready to like pull my sisters and everybody else back up and out. And it's sharing my story. I didn't necessarily want to share it as a point of like contention and like competition of like, oh, my story was worse or anything like that. It was more like I wanted to share the fact that through my healing journey, I've tried so many different modalities to find my inner peace and to find myself and to find my happiness. And that like healing is not a one size fits all. And, and so what I have curated just through not only this, but other things that I've put out to the world is showing a massive list of different healing modalities that people can tap into that they might not have ever thought of, and let it be an inspiration list rather than a checklist. Like, and if they haven't explored some of these different modalities of healing, letting it come to the awareness that, there's so many different ways that you can get back in touch with yourself and find your happiness and find your bliss again, despite maybe the hell you've walked through. And, just to show that we do rise and we come back stronger. And, like I've been somebody that if you tell me, like, if you push me down, I'm going to come back 2 times harder. And, you know, it's a matter of that resilience, but also that self-confidence and that self-love to keep getting back up again. And just kind of wanted to share that with the world, because, you know, the world, it can be kind of dark and scary if you're looking through a certain tunnel vision. And I encourage people to look different places, but most importantly, to look within, because that's where your golden gem is. And your fire never went out. It just might need to be resparked and restoked. And let's let a bonfire burn again, babies. Let's go.
I love that, Beck. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so for anyone that wants to jump in, what is one key lesson or takeaway from your chapter that you hope readers will embrace?
I'll go first. My one key for what I would like to see is not being afraid of change. Not that change is a bad thing, just the concept of it, just not having fear, but having faith in what you believe, and move and taking inspired action, moving forward in that. And regardless of the bombs and the minefield that's going on in 3D around us, just to stay focused on what we do, to have, like Beck said, the inspiration and the motivation, which we do have already in this group, energetically, intellectually, physically, financially, spiritually. We have all of it right here in this room. And to share the knowledge in these books, which I love the fact that it's all women and it's different chapters, because I think it allows the reader to be able to pick and choose what they align with. And so for me, it would be to change.
I think for me, it would be to believe in something bigger than yourself, right? You have to believe, like I said this before, but you have to believe in something larger than yourself. This life, like, can swallow you up, right? And there's going to be things that you can't do on your own. Even if you're the most intelligent woman, the richest woman, the most career-minded woman, like you need to believe in something bigger than yourself. So whether, however whatever you believe in, you have to have something that you can go to, because you can't handle everything on your own. And that's okay. It's okay to not be able to handle everything on your own. It's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to say, like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but I'm looking for I'm going to start looking for something that's bigger than myself to help me get through this.
I got goosebumps. Sonia, you want to chime in, or Beck, or?
Yeah, sure. And I love that. I think it's so important to not fear change. And a lot of us sort of stay stuck sometimes because we fear change, even though it's the best thing for us. I think the message I really want to send out to women across the country and the world is that try not to do everything on your own. Connect with others. There's almost always someone out there who has had a similar experience, or who has this little nugget of knowledge to share that can help you through it. I think, when I first went through my own struggles, I was so embarrassed. I ended up getting divorced, and I didn't want to tell anybody. And when I finally let go of that and started to connect with these other women, it just felt so amazing to realize that you're not alone, and that there's some mutual things that you all are kind of experiencing, and that it's very normal, and that you can all support each other and reach out to someone. So I would say the most important thing is to find the right connections.
I love that.
I definitely second that. I feel like community is essential, especially in some of the hardest phases of life. And you never know what backstory somebody had until you maybe get vulnerable, and then you see that your paths might be more similar than you anticipated. So definitely solid. Very solid advice there. Something that from my chapter that I put out there was kind of like a huge aha moment for me when I hit, I won't say my rock bottom, but like I knew I needed some really big help to help rewire my brain. And I went to a hypnotherapist to start to rewrite my own internal core values and self-love and self-worthiness again. And she looked at me dead faced and asked how many traumas I've been through in my life. And I was like, oh, how much time do we have? Are we talking emotional, physical, spiritual, deaths, heartaches? What, like, how? And what that inspired in me was actually to create what I called the big list. And I literally wrote out on a list every single year of my life. And then I started to track all of the trauma I went through in every year of my life. And when I went back later, I read that list out loud and I could see and energetically ping which things still carried a sting and which things felt like almost like a badge of honor or a funny story. Like, oh yeah, that time I swam through all the jellyfish. Yeah, that sucked. But emotionally, it doesn't carry the same charge as my divorce did or as my major back injury, life-changing back injury did. So it's like, and by seeing this big list, it didn't make me feel like a victim. It actually made me feel like a warrior. And it was like, every time I looked back at that list, it was like, wow, I've overcame a lot. This tiny little road bump that seems big right now, nah, girl, you've already been through way more. And so it became an inspirational list rather than like a big oh shit list of all the crap I've been through. It was like, no, girl, you're way stronger because you've been through this and this and this. This ain't nothing compared to everything else you've been through. Yeah, it's annoying, but you're going to be fine. And so I really hope that other people create their own big list because it's not meant to keep you in a victim mentality. It's actually meant to flip the script and like alchemize your pain and your hardship into your gold, turn your lead into your gold. And your gold is you. And, the more that you find your internal power and you find that inner warrior woman, man, we're unstoppable. It's freaking awesome.
I love it. I love it. So fun. Anybody else have anything they want to share with that? Or
I think the takeaway from my chapter is to stop waiting for permission. People think, oh, I don't have a degree. I don't have a certificate. I don't have a license. You don't need any of that. You know what you know. You are good at what you're good at. And, stop waiting for someone else to validate you. I think if you can just step out and say, here's what I do, here's what I'm worth, here's how you work with me, then, that's how you get further down the road without having to overcome these roadblocks that in many cases aren't necessary. I was in the corporate world for many years. And then I've been running, businesses in the entrepreneur space for a lot of years. And I have a high school diploma. I have nothing else. I don't even have a gum wrapper. I don't care. My clients love me. They trust me. They know that I'm going to help them. And I don't think anyone's ever asked me, are you certified in blah, blah, blah? Hell no. But can I fix it? Yeah, I can fix it. And that's what they care about. So I think sometimes we need to quit like hiding behind these excuses and feeling like, we need to play small when in fact we've got this immense power and many, many options that we aren't willing to entertain to, push ourselves forward and, grow stronger and, get ourselves where we want to be instead of being in corporate life and having to follow the rules and listen to the boss and, get laid off and do all this stuff. There's other options. And I think that that's a wonderful and very necessary thing. So I hope that, gives women some clues. Yeah.
thanks for sharing. Oh, I just love this. So before we wrap up, there's one question that I want to ask all of you ladies, and it's a big one. but I'm really excited, and I'm sure our audience is excited to hear what you have to say. What does growing stronger mean to you personally? Don't all jump in at once.
That's a deep question.
I know.
For me,
so powerful.
For me, it was the name of it. Like, you guys, I think I've been invited to write for the last couple of years, but I haven't had time. And so this year, actually, the title caught me, and I came on to say, I'm busy, I don't have time. And you're like, no, you're writing. Okay. So I just felt that for me, the alignment of the words themselves were healing and an opportunity to express whatever that pivotal point was, which I had so many in my life. I had to choose what it was. The intensity of all of them, like Beck was saying, there's so many experiences to draw from. And for me, it's experience that changes my life. And just like she was talking about education, I do have advanced education now, but I didn't. But now that I look back on it, it's more important to have the experience than it is the education. So to grow, it just seemed like the word grow meant, what growth have we been through, and how did we get there? And what was that pivotal moment in our lives where we lost everything, including ourselves, and we made the choice to be strong and move forward and go into the unknown and get rid of all the toxic people or health or whatever it was that we had to go through to get to the point to stay focused on growing stronger as women in that space that we wanted to be in, that we were trying to be in, but we weren't there. And we were at the furthest point possible away from it, thinking it was totally impossible, and then made that choice and made that decision and became stronger as a result of it. So that's what it meant to me.
Awesome.
My thought about She Grows Stronger is related to my chapter on resilience, and just that we grow stronger every day based on what we experience. And our challenges are really the roots to our strength. And so really thinking about ourselves as strong, empowered women who have made it through, as opposed to, oh my gosh, I can't believe all these terrible things have happened, but more so just how do they shape who I am, and how strong am I now? And so I think that that's really important.
Thank you for all that, for sure. And I'm in agreement with everything that's been said. And I feel like in order to heal, you have to feel. And so we can't just shove everything into this proverbial box and expect it to disappear, because eventually it might turn into something even bigger, or we might keep repeating those patterns. And so I think it's so important for people to do the shadow work, even though it might be intimidating or they don't want to revisit those memories. But there are also other ways to revisit some of these memories in a way that's not bringing back all of that trauma. Like there's a lot of different regression techniques and different things that I have personally been led through, or that I lead some of my clients through on like my Reiki tables and through different group events, that, I offer them softer, more compassionate, easier ways into those challenging memories and help them rewrite the script. Just like, how can I rewrite that memory so that I'm calling my power back to myself? And, I've been on a big shadow work journey myself for about the last 12 years. And the more shadow work I do, the more I feel like I'm coming to light and I'm being more enlightened in so many ways of my life. And I couldn't be more grateful for being willing to look in those dark, scary places that were once repressed, because That's where the hidden gems are. The dragons keep the jewels under their caverns deep, deep, deep. But, you know, like, let's bring them up to the surface and let's actually let them shine in the sun. We all deserve that. It's our time.
Love it.
Thank you, ladies. It's so great to hear from each of you and your perspectives. So what She Grows Stronger to me means is that she doesn't give up. She doesn't give up. She's a fighter. She doesn't give up. You know, a lot of things we want to solve immediately, but sometimes things don't happen on our time, right? They don't happen on our time. We might not get the decision we want right away on our time. You know, and so sometimes we have to wait and we have to just stay the course, right? And so I think that's the biggest thing for me is never give up, right? Don't ever give up. Always believe in yourself and believe that you can overcome this. You can overcome this. You might not know how to do it today. You might not know how to do it tomorrow, but you will overcome this. You will overcome this, and there will be things presented to you that will help you overcome this. So believe in yourself, believe in something higher than yourself, and understand that it doesn't always happen on our time.
Yes. I love it. Well, first of all, thank you, ladies, for joining me today. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being part of this book. We really, on behalf of She Rises Studios Publishing, we greatly appreciate you. For all of you that are watching and listening today, the book She Grows Stronger, the paperback, is now out on Amazon, so you can go ahead and get your copy. Woo! So excited. So with all of that, thank you, ladies, for being here. Thank you, everybody who are watching or catching the replay, for listening to these incredible, incredible ladies, just sharing their heart and their passion and just wanting to have that mission of just serving and helping women or men, wherever you are in this beautiful world. So with that, thank you so much. And everybody have a great and wonderful day. Bye.